Welcome to Tell Me What You Think, where I profile odd news articles from history, and you tell me which you think is human and which is a bona fide Bigfoot sighting from years ago. Have a listen, note the details, and then tell me what you think in the comments below. Story number 1. The Pennsylvania Packet, May 2nd, 1780. The following relation concerning a wild man, though but little known, is well authenticated. The account is translated from a work published in the year 1777 at Paris, entitled Mémoires sur les travaux, by the King's engineer, Monsieur Le Roy, who has described the machines by which the masts are drawn out of the forests of the Pyrenean Mountains for the use of the French Navy in a very scientific manner. In the course of the work, Monsieur Le Roy says, in the year 1774, a savage or wild man was discovered by the shepherds who fed their flocks in the neighborhood of the forest of Yari. This man, who inhabited the rocks that lay near the forest, was very tall, covered with hair like a bear, nimble as the hyzers, of a gay humor, and in all appearance of a mild character, as he neither did nor seemed to intend harm to anybody. He visited often the cottages without ever attempting to carry off anything. He had no knowledge of bread, milk, or cheese. His greatest amusement was to see the sheep running and to scatter them, and he testified his pleasure at the sight by loud fits of laughter, but never attempted to hurt those innocent animals. When the shepherds, as was frequently the case, let loose their dogs after him, he fled with the swiftness of an arrow shot from a bow, and never allowed the dogs to come too near him. One morning he came to the cottage of some workmen, and one of them, endeavoring to get him near and catch him by the leg, he laughed heartily and then made his escape. He seemed to be about 30 years of age. As the forest in question is very extensive and has a communication with vast woods that belong to the Spanish territory, it is natural to suppose that this solitary but cheerful creature had been lost in his infancy and subsisted on herbs. Story number 2. The Ipswich Journal, January 8, 1785. There has lately arrived in France from America a wild man who was caught in the woods 200 miles back from the Lake of the Woods by a party of Indians. They had seen him several times, but he was so swift of foot that they could by no means get up with him till one day, having the good fortune to find him asleep, they seized and bound him. He is near 7 feet high, covered with hair, has but little appearance of understanding, and is remarkably sullen and untractable. When he was taken, half a bear was found lying by him, which he had but just killed. Story number 3. The McKean County Miner, out of Smethport, Pennsylvania, January 3rd, 1878. A wild man of the mountains. A gentleman who resides near Fairview, Watauga County, says the Batesville Landmark, writes us that in company with several gentlemen he went out prospecting in a portion of the Globe Valley. While in the heart of the valley, some miles from any place of habitation, their attention was attracted toward a peculiar specimen of humanity some 40 yards distant. They neared the object, or giant as he seemed, until they came within 20 steps of him. Then they stopped still to advise with each other as to whether they should go nearer. While they were consulting, one of the gentlemen gave a yell and jumped toward the wild man, when he started toward the party a few steps, stopped still, and began to pound himself in the breast with his ponderous fists. There he stood for 2 minutes, evincing no power of speech. Suddenly he turned and bounded off with the speed of a deer. The party then repaired to the house of one of the men, secured a gun, pistol, and other articles of warfare, and went in pursuit of this strange being. They searched the balance of the day, but nothing could be seen of the object of their pursuit. During the search they ascended the crags of Blowing Rock and discovered a small cave, in which was found a bed of leaves and many bones, resembling those of the opossum. It is supposed that this cave has afforded the wild man a home for many years. Our correspondent describes the wild man as being about 6 feet 5 inches tall, with broad shoulders and long apish arms, smooth face, and funnel-shaped head. His body is covered with long, luxuriant dark red tresses. Our correspondent affirms that this is the first time the wild man has ever been seen or heard of in the neighborhood. Story number 4. The Pittsburgh Dispatch, June 1st, 1878. A mysterious beast. It is at large in the Nutmeg State and killing pigs. The strange animal is thought to be what is known as an Indian devil. Pigpens suffer from his raids. To be hunted down. Norwich, Connecticut, May 31st. A wild animal that is thought to be an Indian devil is at large in eastern Connecticut, killing spring pigs and setter dogs. He appeared first in the forests about Portland Village on the Connecticut River. 2 hunters strolling through the underbrush heard one of their dogs yelp in a peculiar way, and hurrying to his aid, saw a big brown beast galloping through the brakes with long, easy leaps. The dog had been killed almost instantly. He had been bitten through the breast, and his head almost torn from his neck. Then the beast came east. At midnight, in his bed the other day, Farmer Clifton Peck of the rural town of Franklin, a few miles north of this city, heard a great outcry in his orchard below his house, where he had 9 of the handsomest pigs in New London County. He leaped from his bed, ran into the orchard, shouting. In the moonlight, he described a big beast skulking away across the fields. Mr. Peck was just in time to save the life of the pig which the predatory animal had been strangling. The pig had been bitten severely. Next, the Indian devil visited the piggery of Mr. Lamb in the same neighborhood. At night, Mr. Lamb's 4 pigs were all right. In the morning, when he went to feed them, 2 of them were dead in the pen. The 2 others had fled to the woods, where Mr. Lamb found them trembling with terror. The dead pigs had been terribly lacerated about the head and ears, and there were bites on their chests that penetrated to the heart. L. H. Smith, also of Franklin, had a pig killed at night in a similar way in his pen. The next morning, in the sandy road, he saw tracks of a wild beast that were bigger than the footmarks of a big dog. The Franklin farmers now hang lanterns about their pig pens and in their orchards at night, hoping to frighten the beast away. In the northern part of the town is a great hill, Ayers Mountain, and on one craggy slope of it, Ayers Gap, is the entrance to a remarkably deep cavern, the Devil's Den, that is believed to penetrate to all parts of the mountain. It has long been the home of foxes and sometimes of wildcats, which seem to know a hidden way of egress, so that hunters have never been able to trap or successfully besiege the animals in the cavern. The Indian devil undoubtedly has located his home in the Devil's Den. The Norwich Falls Kennel Club of fox hunters are getting ready to take the field in a great hunt for that beast. Story number 5. The Lancaster Daily Intelligencer, May 20th, 1881. A mysterious beast. Orange County, New York, is greatly excited about a mysterious beast which is said to make nocturnal raids around the neighborhood. There is only one person, a Negro, who will swear that he has seen this strange animal, but there are scores of persons who claim to have seen evidence of the depredations of adjacent farms and to have heard its unearthly screams when startled by the approach of men. The Negro says that he suddenly met with it at the mouth of a cave on the farm of a Mr. Green, and that it stood erect to the height of 7 or 8 feet and screeched so loudly that it frightened him so badly that he fainted. When he regained his senses, the animal had gone. Parties have explored the mouth of the cave on Greaves Farm, and while they claim to have discovered evidence of the whereabouts of some strange animals, they have failed to come up with it. Yesterday it is said that a dead dog, with its back broken, was found near the mouth of the cave, and part of a sheepskin and entrails were also close to the entrance. A party is being organized to search for and kill the strange animal, but the Negro will not be part of the party.